Are you ready to finally start breaking out of your current income ceiling, especially when you are a consultant or a business owner? In this video, I'm going to walk you guys through how to finally stop feeling stuck. And this is something that I have experienced myself as a business owner, also as a consultant, and something that most, if not all, business owners and consultants go through as they're growing their business. Now, the first one is to honestly assess your hours. What I mean by this is assess what time you are putting on where. So the normal thing that always happens is when you're a solopreneur, you're a business owner, you're kind of wearing a lot of hats in your business and you're doing a lot of things at once, that we usually forget ourselves what we're supposed to be getting done and what has been left behind. So going ahead and actually slowing down and just assessing, maybe just have a week sample of what are the things that usually get done, how many hours do you put in, how many things don't get done. It's going to be the first step for you to assess why you have kind of hit that ceiling within your business and why nothing else is getting done without you. Next is you want to then break it down to assessing the roles that you currently have. And like I said, very normal when you are starting your own business is you're wearing multiple hats. So you want to start actually breaking down the different roles that you currently have in your business, so then you can start identifying which ones you can maybe start hiring for, which ones you can delegate, and also which ones you also want to focus in. A really good way to be able to do this is you want to go ahead and calculate your hourly. So what I mean by that is this is coming from Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell, where basically he walks us through the process of being able to determine your hourly rate as a business owner. It's basically taking your annual income and dividing it by the number of hours in a year. So let's say you're working 40 hours a week, which I know most of us do more than that. Divided by 50 weeks a year, let's say you're taking 2 weeks off in a year, you would be working typically about 2,000 hours in a year. And as a typical example, if your income is about $100,000 a year, then divided that by 2,000, then you're making $50 an hour. Now your buyback rate is basically that rate, the $50 an hour, for example, divided by 4. That is your buyback rate. This is the rate that you can start hiring and start delegating a lot of the tasks that you currently have. And one other way that we do this with our clients at 2XU is before they're even thinking of hiring a virtual assistant is we want to figure out what are their 80-20 essentially in their business. What are the things that out of the 10 things that they're doing, what are the 2 that they cannot delegate at all because it is such a crucial part of the business. So for example, for us, it's the sales part. I'm still the only person doing that, mostly because it is so custom to on that end of like finding the right person for them before we start hiring and managing an assistant for them. It starts from that end. That's basically my 20% that creates the rest of the results, and started looking at the 80% of the things that I'm doing that can be delegated to someone else. And the quadrant that I like using for that is basically our 80-20 quadrant at 2XU, which is finding out what are the tasks that make you the most money that only you can do. That is the tasks that you should be focused on. Tasks that make you money but doesn't have to be essentially you. These are the things that assistant can start taking care of. And the tasks that don't make you a lot of money but you just enjoy doing, or you kind of don't think about even doing, these are things that you definitely should automate and delegate. And of course, if it's not making you money and it's not something that anyone else in the business can do, make sure to assess and delete and get rid of anything that's not important. So that's essentially how you start figuring out your hourly, your buyback rate. So you're figuring out how much hourly are you supposed to be paying? What is your buyback rate? What's basically the starting rate that you can hire someone to do a certain task, and to how to figure out what to delegate in the first place. Because the next step is essentially delegating your hours. And what this means is going through the process of hiring and finding someone to be able to support you in your role. That's why it's important to look at your hours, look at the different roles that you have kind of done for yourself, and going ahead and calculating how much can I afford having someone else take care of this so I can do more of the things that I need to do in the business. So for example, for me at 2XU, to be honest, one of the first hires that I did was someone to take care of the marketing side, because I was doing so much on YouTube, so much on TikTok, so much on LinkedIn that was basically taking away from the time for me doing actual calls. That was something that was making me money, but they didn't have to be necessarily be me anymore. So it's kind of the first area of the business that I started delegating for, which then I got my own assistant to be able to take care of me and managing the content and marketing side of the business. Then we later on hired fully for that person. So basically my assistant grew with me through the different levels and processes of the business, so then I can keep kind of focusing on and honing on the main thing for me in the business, which is sales. So you can start looking at what are the roles that I need to delegate for right away that I can hire someone to do. And since you do have your buyback early rate, that is basically the rate that you can get started on hiring someone and getting that person to get that done. Next is you do need to go through the process of mastering hiring and management. And I do want to kind of double click on the word mastering hiring and management, because those two have to go hand in hand. You need to know and you need to learn how to find really good people and how to keep them. And this is something that honestly in 2XU that I am constantly working on. This is something that I catch myself making a mistake. This is something that I am constantly growing into as well. Is it costs so much to actually hire a person, more so if that person leaves after you train them, after you've put a lot of an investment in them. So it's important for you as a business owner to get out of that ceiling, basically, is to start hiring out the tasks so it doesn't have to be reliant on your hours anymore, on what you can do, what your capacity is, because you are now starting to hire and actually build a business, build a team, and not be a solopreneur anymore. Next is you want to start going ahead and creating your systems in 2XU. This is something we do for a lot of our clients, is building out their standard operating procedures as well as their assets and what we call your business operating systems, which is essentially building out and fleshing out how your business runs, so then it's not just stuck in your head. Someone else can see it and understand it. And that's honestly one of the key things about this whole process, is to get out of that ceiling, you have to be able to communicate to other people what happens in the business so they can get you out of that ceiling. And because it's already here, go ahead and use AI. And there's different ways that you can use it. You can first use it just as automations for your systems, of just making your onboarding process easier, making the delivery part of your business a little bit easier. It could also go all the way to creating AI assistants and AI agents for your business to be able to further support not just you, but also your employees, because AI still needs people to manage them. That is why your employees need to be people that you really want to work with and also have the skills to get it done. And of course, there is building partnerships. There's finding people who could be talking to your target audience, but not necessarily a competition. There could be also building partnerships through doing podcasts or speaking on stage, or finding the things that you know help you grow your business. So again, you're hitting away from that ceiling, because honestly, a lot of the times when you are hitting that ceiling, it's because you just keep doing the same thing over and over again without much of a change. You feel like there's much of a change, but you see that number every single month that you're kind of stuck there. So to be able to get out of that, it's also exposing yourself as a business owner to new things, to other things, so you can bring that back into your business. And the last one is to step away. And what I mean by this, and this is honestly one of the harder things that you can do aside from everything else that I just said, is you have to start learning to step away and lead your people instead of just managing them directly. And what this means is you want to be the business owner who can take 2 weeks off and have things running. You want to have that as a little bit of a test, because that is your true kind of proof that your business can run without you, is when you can keep going longer and longer, not being in the business and being able to have someone else run your business fully. That's kind of the last stage of this whole process, is you get to the point where, again, you're learning where you're spending your hours, you're learning the roles that you probably need to hire, you're going ahead and finding how much your time is worth, hiring someone to double that time, learning and mastering how to hire and manage the right people, building the systems out of it, using AI, and then creating those partnerships to the point where you can actually step away from the business because you've broken through that ceiling. And if you guys want any support in any of that, of course, make sure to book a call below for 2XU for your 80/20 assessment so we can figure all of that out. And of course, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there and comment below any questions you might have when it comes to growing your business. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home, which you guys can check out those 2 playlists right here and the latest video right here. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.